Here we go. Hi, this is Angie, and I am the founder of Team Grit, and this is our weekly Zoom call. And today we are going to be talking about ideas for content for posting in our challenge groups. First of all, I just want to remind everybody that Summit is coming up, and I'm wiggly, sorry, can't help myself. Summit is coming, and if you don't already have a ticket, you can still get it for $100 off. And then another thing, if you're not watching or listening to the National Wake Up Call, I just have been really encouraged by them lately. I've listened to almost every single one. There were like some from the first 2 years that maybe I didn't get all the way back to, but you can always learn something from them. And I have learned a lot from these last ones that they've had on. And so if you're not listening to the National Wake Up Call, make sure you're getting on there. And if you're at work and you can't do it live, make sure that you get it on podcast or on the replay or things like that. Also, just another quick reminder, Shakeology HD is now worth 2 points, Success Club points. So as you are helping people along, if you know people who already have a Beachbody program, because I've run across that, and I'm sure you guys have too, that when you're talking to somebody, they bought one and it's sitting on the shelf, and so you can just get them involved in your challenge group and just say, hey, this is going to get you the best results. Let's go. And you can get them started with Shakeology HD, and you can get 2 points for that. So other than that, core schedules and hours are up. I don't know when they put that up. I think that's an old one. But anyway, that's FAQ 3011. I won't be checking out any of that until we get a little closer to time. So, and they usually have the app, right, Selena? Mm-hmm. Selena was awesome with the app last year. I was like, I can't get mine to work. She's like, Angie, it's just like that.
I've been waiting for it because I've got a Punta Cana one right now, and it's set up the exact same way.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So, interesting note on that. I got invited off the wait list for Punta Cana, like in the fall. No, well, okay, but in the fall. But it was like for the ultra rooms, mm-hmm. And I said, I can't pay that kind of money. So I turned it down, and I went in and signed up again. I got off the wait list again 2 weeks ago. But when I went in to see, they said I had already denied it. So like I went through, but since I had already turned down the wait list once, apparently they wouldn't let me do it.
Maybe next time don't turn it down and just wait for your duration of time to, because they give you a duration of time before they tell you that you need, go back on. But if you don't deny it and you just don't meet your window of time, maybe.
Oh, that might work. I just, if it had been a regular room, I would have signed up. That would have, but it was, like the second or the third level up. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't think I can do that right now. So anyway, let's get started. So I was trying to figure out the best way to work this. And I guess first of all, I'm going to ask, do you guys use any of the, I think I only have one, maybe two of the challenge groups that I've posted links to so that you can use those comments. Do you guys use any of those?
I think you've posted just the muscles one. And I've used some of it before.
Okay.
Like sometimes I'll take bits and pieces from it.
Okay. You haven't? Okay, so in the files in our team page, there's one called Muscles and Mindset, and that has the whole 3 weeks. There may be a few holes in there somewhere that I didn't get filled. I know sometimes I don't. I go in and I go to fill it out and I go, oh, whoops, I forgot to put such and such in. And I don't always put recipes in because then I would be sharing the same recipe each month. And so I don't put that on the Hootsuite thing. So how about I start? And then will that work if I start and share with you some of the things that I've been sharing? And then Someday I will have internet connection that does not drop out 5 times in a meeting. I don't know if it's my phone, my connection, whatever. What I was saying, and I'm not sure when I dropped out, was I'll start if you guys want me to. Do you want me to just go through different things that I've covered, and then you can go through different things if you have any questions or anything like that? Does that sound okay? Okay. So I don't do a lot of meal prep type stuff. I need to. That's my weakness. I have a video that talks about the containers and how to use the containers that I just load in. You guys probably already do that. That's probably something you do. I talk about getting up and working out in the morning is the best time of day because you're less likely to get interrupted. I talk about how to make yourself get up in the morning and it's like setting your clothes out the night before, not hitting snooze. I talk about the 5 minutes. Even if you don't want to work out, make yourself work out for 5 minutes. And then usually what that does is it gets you going. I talk about, I'll get to that one. I just discovered this new video. It's the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. And I don't even know if there's one called that, but the first one I listened to was about an hour long, and it was why motivation is garbage. And it's amazing. And so I did share one of those. I shared a smaller length video in my group the last time and the longer ones, if anybody wanted to listen to the longer one. And that's a really cool one about how you can change your habits. So this month right now, I am doing something I called my fit. I changed my names. I'm not calling my stuff groups anymore. I'm calling them fit camps. So if it's a group, it's free. But if it's a fit camp, then that's going to be a paid thing. And so that's how I'm knowing the differential when I'm talking about things on social media. So all of my stuff is now, my muscles and mindset will be a muscles and mindset fit camp. But my new one is called Waste Away. And I did a play on words. Waste is in your waist, but then I talked about toxic waste that we were going to get rid of throughout our group. And so the first one was toxic mindsets. And when I get through the end of the group, my group will end the end of this week. I'll load that into our group page so you guys can have all of that content that I had. So toxic mindset. And those are the things like when you have a negative mindset and you talk, and so then I talked about positive affirmations and how when you are constantly telling yourself you can't do it, obviously, that you need to switch it around. I can do this and those kinds of things. So we talked about mindset and working on the mind. And then last week we talked about the habits, and I read this book called The Power of Habit. And it talks about the habit loop. And so this was something that in my own life I had come across, like giving up pop. Part of giving up pop, I realized that every time I went past a McDonald's, it was almost like automatic for me to drive into a McDonald's. I didn't even think about it most time and would just get a pop. And I realized that was like a cue for me. And so when I was really wanting to finally give it up, I for about a month, I changed my driving habits. So I wouldn't even go past McDonald's until I had gotten over that physical craving, and then that helped. But so then in the book, it talks about the habit loop, which is the cue, the trigger. And your trigger can be an emotional trigger. It can be a sight. It can be a smell. It can be a thing like the McDonald's arches. But that trigger is what makes you go into your habit loop, whether it's a good habit or a bad habit. And then there's always a reward at the end. So like for me with the pop, I was eating terrible at the time. I was teaching class without feeling my body in between workouts. So what my reward with the pop was an energy boost because I was always exhausted and tired. I was just, my brain was, I probably had blood sugar lows going on too. So that was my reward. Well, in order to change my habit, you keep your cue, you keep your reward, you just change and put something good in there. Awesome. Are you guys still there?
Oh,
are you still there? Give me a second. Give me a second. Ah! Courtney just called me. Can you call her and find out what she needs? Because thank you. So what I did is I started eating when I was teaching classes, which gave me more energy. So then I didn't have the blood sugar lows. Anyway, so the habits, I talked about habits. And then this week I'm talking about sleep and how sleep affects your blood sugar, how sleep affects your weight and the benefits of sleep. And so all week long we're talking about different ways you can get better sleep. And that was based on this book called Sleep Smarter. But you'll get all that content. I will load it. And if I forget to load, please text me and be like, hey, you were going to load that content. I do not mind if you text me and remind me. But the things like, well, the one that I probably won't be doing is changing my mattress every 7 years. But then there's, yeah, right? If you have a TV in your bedroom, that's a no-no. If you could get blackout curtains. You have a TV, shame on you. My mom hated TVs. She hated the TV. And so I like TV, but she had me already set up, no TV in the bedroom. So plants, there are certain plants you can put in your bedroom that release oxygen that help you sleep better. There's sleeping positions that help you sleep better. There's get your pets out of your room, different things like that. So that's what I'm covering this time. I've covered different aspects from the Miracle Morning on how to get yourself set up right, and talked about how I went from getting up at the last minute to get to work to now I've backed it up to I get up about 2 to 3 hours before work, depending, like 2 days a week I go into work an hour earlier, so it just depends. So I cover those things. Gratitude. I talked about gratitude journaling and how having gratitude in your life and thankfulness just works to set you up with a good mindset. And when you have a good mindset, good things come out. Another thing I talked about this time, and I don't remember if it was this one in the sleep one, the Keystone Habits is something, and you could, type Keystone Habit in and it would probably give you just the basics of that. But Keystone Habits is when you take one habit and when you conquer that habit, there's like a domino effect, which helps you to develop better habits. So in reverse, in a bad way, if you take up drinking and smoking that as a keystone habit, then that could lead into pot, which then could lead into cocaine. There's the bad way, but then in the good way, sometimes people will take up running or something like that, and then because they're running, they all of a sudden they decide they want to eat better, so then they start eating better, and then when they start eating better, even it goes into like non-health things, like they start saving money for this. There's a snowball effect. So I've talked about that too. And then I did a whole 5-day free group on the happiness advantage. But basically that's still the same thing, positive affirmations, things like that. What else do I have? Think and Eat Yourself Smart is a really good book. It's kind of hard to get through. Because it's very in-depth. So it takes a little bit longer to read. But what I like about it is that it's Christian-based. And it talks about GMO foods and where your foods come. I am not at her level yet in my eating. But it's a really good book for learning stuff in that. Sugar, I've talked about sugar and how sugar affects your body, and that it can be cause inflammation in your body, things like that. And then the last thing today, what I covered, I'm sure you guys have come across this too. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were a taller person, a little bit bigger person, and we were talking about how she had weight gain and had gained like 30 pounds over 3 years. And when I started talking to her about what she's eating, she's like hardly eating any food at all. And so what I talked about today was the calories, that if you go into a huge calorie deficit, that your body goes into starvation mode. So I don't know if you guys cover that. You probably do, but that's another one. And I if I can find the one, I'll screenshot it and the latest book I was reading was talking about if you're just doing cardio. Oh, that's another one. Cardio is going to maybe make you smaller, but do you guys know the difference? Like you have your carrot shape and your apple shape and then your pear shape. Do you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so cardio will maybe help you get smaller, but if you're an apple, you're just going to be a smaller apple. It's not necessarily going to change that, but weight training will actually take that apple and kind of smoosh it out, if that helps. So that cardio is not really necessarily recommended. Weight training is recommended for the best results. So I talk about that sometimes too, but what I go, I'm going to contradict myself, because I always say when somebody's first starting, they should do what they like to do first. So there will be people that I will recommend Country Heat or Turbo Jam or something like that. That's mainly cardio based, but that's because if they're not used to exercising, if they've never done it before, they need to have something. Like the Country Heat was really big when it first came out. I had a really big group of people who had never done anything like that before, because it didn't intimidate them, it didn't scare them, whereas weight training scares people. So even though weight training is actually the better way to get results, when you're first introducing somebody to something, the cardio might be the way to get them started and then transition them into weight training. So I talk about that too. So I think that's all I have right now. Oh, so do you guys talk about detox baths? Do you guys do that post? Okay. So yeah. Next up, who wants to go next that I haven't covered? Do you guys have something I haven't covered?
I didn't really bring anything. Like we just got home and I literally ran to my computer to get here. So I don't have anything with me. I don't even think you can see it, but I literally, like, Michael got out of work and I totally made him like help me move my desk upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
So like
Nice.
I literally just got my computer all set up, and then like I took him out to dinner real quick so that we didn't have to prepare anything, and we just got back. So
and you're like,
and
I'm here.
So I think I cover pretty much all those same things, and a lot of my content I wing each time. So it started like with just like originally like the 21-day fix or the 21-day fix extreme stuff from the back office, and then slowly, you know, like as I had other groups that were targeted with specific programs, like when Country Heat came out, I used the Country Heat content, and I tweak it throughout as I go for things like when I don't like what they've got in there to do my own thing or whatever.
Right.
And when Quarter Force came out, I use the Force one, and then they've got just a 60-day
right
one in there, and I've pieced that one apart and made my own out of that, just taking like what I wanted out of that and making my own 3-week one. Or actually, I think that's a 30-day one for when we do like the health fed and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
30-day one made out of that. And then,
I swiped that one.
Yeah. And then the one I'm doing right now is all new as well. And that one is I actually pieced together from just some articles I got like off of the Beachbody blog and stuff like that. So I took like information from there and created posts out of it, like my own posts and pictures and stuff out of it.
Sure.
And then we're just focusing on the same type of things. So we actually had the same conversation today about gratitude and mindset, and I made them journal 10 they were grateful for, and we talked about the same things that.
Right.
So yeah, really, I mean, that same kind of stuff.
Okay. Stacy, do you have anything different that you've kind of covered, or kind of the same?
I'm a wing it kind of girl like Selena, so my video is what I'm feeling. I've cried in my videos. I am real in my videos, and I just in my video is where I get really, I guess, a little bit where they get their motivation. I'm putting my finger in their face. Some days
I don't do that. I need to start doing that.
I do that. I high five them. I pat them on the back. I mean, I talk about that. Sometimes I do read from a book that I'm reading, depending on what I'm feeling.
Right.
But I kind of stick to Monday motivation. I stick to, like, today I said this is Tell Me Tuesday, and I wanted to know more about them. So I wanted them to tell me 3 things that I don't already know about them, you know.
Oh, I like
we
that.
can get to
Yeah.
know each other a little bit better. And got some really awesome responses. So on the very first week, I do not do any type of physical challenge. I wait until a later week. Because in the first week, I'm just kind of motivation and getting into their mind. I kind of, some days we'll talk, you know, like Monday mindset, or we'll do motivation, or, you know, stuff like that. So I really stick with those things throughout there. I don't even do Flex Friday until probably the 3rd week.
Okay.
And then I'll do like Flex Friday. We do like Thankful Thursday, you know, things like that. But I have, I think, 7 or 8 different challenge group things saved from the Blonde Bombshells, from Anita, from I don't know, 3 or 4 other things that I Googled and got a whole bunch of different group conversations.
Sure.
So I just pull from that because I don't like everything that they do on there. Sometimes they're really short and I want them to be longer.
Right.
Than just like, you know, so that's what I do. I do really wing it. I really don't have something of my own. I just make it my own, if that makes sense.
Right. Did you get them off the Blonde Bombshell website?
I don't know where I got it. There is a 4-week one, a 90-day one.
Wow.
I've got quite a few on mine, on my computer. I do all mine from my computer upstairs when I do mine. So I don't go live. I know I need to do that more. I don't go live in my group. So I do usually do a video on meal prepping. Yeah. I haven't done it yet this time, but I normally do. I show like the big grocery haul, and sometimes I've already made most of my stuff, and then I just show what I've done and you know, talk about it and how it's important. So
right. That one I haven't done, like, and I'm like, I need to do it, but when I do it, I will probably video it and save it to YouTube and just instead of doing it live every time, because it'll be easier to save it to YouTube. And then because recreating that each time is time consuming. So I don't know.
I just figure I'm doing it already anyways, because I do mine live too. Like, I don't necessarily do all my meal prepping or anything, but I hop on at random times live. So like, if I get home from the grocery store and get all my stuff out on my counter, I'm going to hop on live and I'm going to show them, here are the things I got. Especially if I got like new stuff or something, like found something new or wanted to show them something, I'll show them like all the things I got and like what different options are. Like, this is what I got, and here's the like point out certain things about the ingredient label or whatever, like why it's good or what I watched for. And then I share my meal prep separately, or if I'm throwing something together real quick that's a simple meal prep or something I want to share, then I'll hop on and share it with them like that. But I always just wing all of that stuff too. I'm a winger.
I like it. I just wing it. Yeah. So for ideas for posting, I use Pinterest a lot too. I tend to get on there for different things, and sometimes things will pop up, and so I just save it into a file to come back later, like nutrition things or just random fitness things. Mostly it's like the nutrition things I'll save off into a file to then share into the group at some point. I think I saved one into my Positively Fit Mom one about good carbs versus bad carbs. I posted a little graphic, because sometimes you can write it out, but I like the graphics sometimes on Pinterest that they have. It's easier just to post it and just say, this is good carbs, this is bad carbs, that kind of thing. Yeah. So Pinterest is a great resource for finding stuff to post about. But, well, like you saw, most of my stuff comes from everything. Hey, Emily, thanks for joining us. Comes from the different things I've been reading. And it was stuff that I was interested in anyway, like habits. I bought the book because I had a habit that I needed to break. So
Sorry, I'm here.
Just chow away. We're all good. I was eating cucumbers before we got on, so I bought the habit thing because I had a habit I needed to break, and so I thought if I have a habit I need to break, that's got to be something that's good to share with everybody too. The sleep one, I didn't have any trouble sleeping until I read the book, and now I have. But yeah, I just figured, I know a lot of people have trouble sleeping, and in that book it's really interesting that it talks about, I was sharing with Dylan the other day, sleep deprivation encourages cancer, Alzheimer's, depression, and heart disease. So there you go. So I just thought that was interesting, and I talk about different stuff like that. 1 night of sleep deprivation can make you as insulin resistant as a person with type 2 diabetes. Wow. So, yeah, and so if you're sleep deprived, basically what happens is your body wants energy, and so your brain triggers cravings for sugar. So, and they say to sleep deprived is like 4 or less hours, 5 or less hours of sleep a night. So, anyway. You just barely made it, right? You got 5 hours and 15 minutes. She's a rocket. So yeah, so that, I just thought that was interesting. I know I have always loved my sleep, so I've never been an all-nighter type of girl, even in college. And so that's been a priority. And I know that when you sleep, maybe you guys do or don't know this, when you sleep, it's when your muscles repair themselves. So if you are trying to make gains, trying to get some muscle, and you're not sleeping and you're not getting the results you want, that can be part of that issue. So, and also it just helps keep you from being sore when you get that sleep in after a big workout. So I have talked about that before. Yes, I love that stuff. I can drink that. Yeah. It makes up for all that sleep you're not getting, right? So, Emily, we're just about wrapping it up. Thanks for hopping on. But I will make sure, usually what I do is I take my laptop to work with me. I have Wi-Fi at work, and so I get this configured, and then I get it onto YouTube at work tomorrow. So I'll get it on replay so you can watch it tomorrow night or by Friday for sure. So
okay, perfect.
Yep. But yeah, I just look around. Well, okay, so I thought that was interesting, Stacy. What you said is you just kind of looked around and Googled different challenge groups. I'm in 2 groups. Stacy and I were talking about this yesterday or the other day. Coach Success, right? And then what's the other? Melanie Mitro's is what? Stacy, do you remember Melanie Mitro's group? Oh, sorry. I said Stacy, and I looked at Selena. One is called. I'm talking to you.
Oh, Beachbody Champions.
Oh, Beachbody Champions page. Yeah. If you go into their files, you look in the files, there's groups.
You're on that page because I've tagged you in it before.
Yeah, I just didn't know that was her page. Melanie Mitchell.
No, hers is Coach.
I didn't know what it was either. No, that's our.
Oh, okay.
No. Beachbody Champions is our regional one. But in there are free groups that you can load, the files of different free groups, clean eating groups and crackpot groups, things like that. And then Melanie Mitro, because we're her downline, her group is called Coach Success. So if you're not in that and you want in, huh?
That's Janelle's, isn't it? Janelle's.
Oh, sorry, I said Melanie. You're right, it's Janelle's. But it's called Coach Success. If you're not in it, you're in it, right, Stacy? Yeah. Beachbody Champions is more active, and they do more stuff, I think. So, but that's a good place to get it. So, alrighty. And I have a question for you, Stacy. I know you told me this a long time ago. I think you said you got into Christine Dwyer's stuff.
Yeah.
How did you, will you remind me how you got into her stuff?
I'm going to have to look it up, but it's the Platinum Presenters.
Right.
So go to the Platinum Presenters, and you have to request, I guess, to be in there.
Right.
By putting in your exact same name that is on your Beachbody. That's how she makes sure that you're legit and can look you up and make sure you're truly in her downline, which I think everybody in the world is in her downline. But anyway,
right.
So do that, and then she will send you, I do believe it's an email that says you're good to go, and you get in there and you can see everything.
That's a website?
Yeah, it's I think it's the platinumpresenters.com. I haven't been in there in a very long time, so.
Okay. I'll have to look at that.
I'll remember to do that when I get off, and then I'll let you know for sure. But presenters. See if I can find it.
I'll look it up too. We are almost to the end. I have to look at my thing. We have 3 minutes remaining. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about? Or, oh, I forgot to say this. Next week, next Tuesday, when we have our coach opportunity Facebook event, I'm going to do mine alone, separate from Leslie's. So if any of you would like to go live in that, let me know. And I'm letting you know now so you have time. You guys were the ones. Emily, I'm laughing at you. But no, this would be a good way to spread your little wings, right? If you don't want to go live, if you're not ready for that, what I would like for you to do is have a picture for you to post with a post that talks about what Beachbody has done for you and why you're a coach, so that you can post it in there. So I don't mind going live all by myself. But I would like to have you guys posting in there of why you're a coach, so that the people that you invite see you on there. And then Selena, if you might want to consider it, think about it. And just throwing that out there.
But you have to be much longer.
Right. Right. Well, I probably should have started this a year ago, honestly. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to spread our little wings. We're going to figure it out. And I'll be going live for sure. So I'll have to know, let me know if you want to go live and what you want to say. Okay. And if you don't want to, I won't push you this time. I'll push you next time. All right. So that's, we are going to do our own team one, separate from what Leslie is doing next week. And we're going to get it going. All right. That's all I got for you guys tonight. Have a fabulous night. We have 1 minute left. So, I will make sure that I get this posted. And like I said, my Waste Away Fit Camp, when I get that all finished the end of this week, I'll post it into the group. So I would prefer you guys to rename it so that it's not the exact same name as what I'm using. Okay.
Are you changing your name every month still, even though you're using an annual or an ongoing group?
I will be changing my name every month. Yeah. Because I'll be advertising it as something different. And so when I'll put up a new, I'm not awesome on Canva or PicMonkey. I need to see, I got less than a minute. So my cover banner is really basic. It's like, this is the group, blah. So, but yeah. Okay. I'm going to quit before they block us off. Have a great night, guys. Thanks for showing up. I'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks. See ya.